Hi everybody, we're with Merlin's MPG GUI. Okay, that's hard to say. We're going to use one of the TK Enter programs we've already created, and we did 3 or 4 versions of the temperature sensor last week. So I'm temperature converter last week. So I'm going to use that as a pattern to get started with, or a scaffold, or whatever you want to call it. Meaning I'm not going to start the program from scratch. I'm going to modify an existing program I've already done. And so here's my example design. Remember, we're using gridding. So this is a label frame. This is a label frame. Oh, let me run up my MPG guy here. There he is. Oops, wrong one. I need my temperature, don't I? Just a second. Temperature converter. Let's see. There's my regular one. Yep, thank you. It thinks my EXEs are viruses again for some reason. All right. So if we look at this guy, we can see that indeed this is a label frame surrounding a text box for entry, a button to make things go, and 2 labels to display things. So I'm going to take this and modify it so that it looks like this, where we have 2 display frames and we have labels and text boxes in different places. So I'm going to throw that to the side. I'm going to kill this program. I'm going to take my, where is it at here? Oh, there's my regular temperature converter. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it into my MPG folder, which is where I'm going to keep my MPG program. Let's make that fit a little better. Let's see, where's my MPG? It's underneath, oh, MPG, okay. So I'm going to paste that in there. If you press F2 on Windows, when you have something highlighted, that allows you to rename it. So I'm going to say MPG for video. All right, so this is the same exact program. Let's bring up Visual Studio Code. And I copied it and put it in there, and there it is. So this has the MPG program in it. Well, I like to, have the right names for things and all that. So I am going to click on this, and to rename everything with the same name in an entire project with Visual Studio Code, again, if you press the F2 key, see how that opens that up? Now, if I change the name to, we'll just say MPG, and I press enter, that'll rename all the instances of MPG. And the only other place the class name is used is down here. Well, this is also not what I'm after. So I'm going to do F2 and just do a lowercase MPG. It's common to have lowercase in almost all Python things except for classes. And this I could have named MPG calculator. In fact, I should do that because that's more descriptive. There. Notice how I capitalize the acronym, capitalize the first word of each word of the name. So that's a convention in Python, meaning that most people do it that way, and if you're looking at somebody else's code, it makes it more recognizable. I'm not going to worry about changing the icons and all that sort of stuff at this point. I'm going to go down to where I have my create widgets. So I have one label frame. That's the one that says enter Fahrenheit temperature, and if I take a look at my picture, I need to calculate MPG one. So there we go. So calculate MPG, right? Now mainframe really doesn't make sense at this point. So again, I'm going to use my F2 key. I can rename that and call that calculate frame, because that's actually entry, isn't it? It's data entry frame. So I might call it entry frame, because that's where I'm entering things, right? And so this is fine, but I need 2 of them. So this creates it. This gives us a 1 widget entry that goes in there, which that's fine. I'm going to move this down. This is the part that we want to duplicate, so we get the other frame. And this one is going to be a display frame, I guess. We enter data up here, we display it down there. It can be whatever you want to call it, just so it makes sense. So I'll call it display because that's where I'm displaying my answers. And down here on my little drawing, I showed MPG. Whoops, there we go. So far, so good. Well, we only have a few things in here right now, and if I run it right now, it's going to be a mess. Entry, there's not an entry in the display frame. Oh, somehow I named them all the same thing, didn't I? How did I do that? Oh, because I pressed F2. Okay, so this will be the entry frame. Now, in the entry frame, I'm going to have all my entry stuff right there. Calculate MPG. So this guy is an entry. It's going to be in my entry frame, right? And entry isn't really a good name for it, for this guy. So it's going to be entry, let's see, start mileage, right? This top part is not going to require any buttons. So we're going to move those guys out of the way. Now we do the gridding down here. Notice that we did not grid these guys. We didn't grid this guy before, but now I'm trying to find where I gridded it to begin with. Where's my label frame gridding? Oh, there it is. I put it clear down here. Okay. So I'm going to bring that up since now we have two of them. Not sure why I put it clear down there. So this is going to go with our, yep, let's do this. Move that down, put our gridding. It really doesn't matter where it is, but we're going to do our display frame grid. Just a second here. Well, anyway, I don't remember. I couldn't find anywhere I gridded it, so I'm going to grid it here. So I'm going to do self entry frame dot grid, and not grid configure. Grid configure is what you do afterwards. So I'm going to do grid, and then we have to do the X, which is the row. So it's going to be 0, comma, Y equals 0. Equals 0. And then I'm going to put some padding around it. 0, there we go. I'm going to put some padding around it. I don't have to do it here, but I just think it looks nice. And then we do exactly the same thing with our display frame, because the display frame's down below. So we do display frame dot grid. Now this is going to be the second row, which is number 1. Right? And we'll still have the same padding, so there's lots of space behind it. This guy is assigned to a frame. This button is assigned to the display frame. This one's assigned to the display frame. These things are kind of in the wrong places, but we have things, oh, except for this one. That one's kind of gray, so I don't know what that one's doing. We have entry, there it is, entry start mileage. So entry underscore start mileage. We're going to need a label, but at this point it might be something that I can run and kind of see where I'm at. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, I don't have a thermometer. I'm not going to worry about changing the ICO at this point. I'm going to do a control right slash just to temporarily take that out. Oh, I could put MPG here. You can look up a gas icon later on. All right, let's run it again. Grid configure. All right, so I have an issue with my self-entry frame. Oh, it is supposed to be literally row and column, isn't it? Yep, so I did that wrong. So this is row. All right, so this is supposed to be row and column. I didn't look at what I did before. Big mistake. Go down here, do the same thing, row, column. And then we do a row over here. That will put the frames in the right place, right? And we have a start mileage entry, but what we don't have is a label to the left of it that says what it is. So I'm going to put that right before it. So we'll have self dot LBL. I usually put LBL in front of it. And we'll say start mileage equals label, right? Now, if we look down here, we've got a label. So let's take all these parts from in here, instead of redoing it, let's just put it in here. I could have copied the whole thing, actually. So we want it into the display frame. I am missing a parenthesis at the end. There. So I want it to be 10 wide, groove is fine, and anchor to the east means that the text is going to align to the right-hand side. And there's my start mileage guy here. So I'm going to bring my gridding of those guys. Here's this guy gridding. I'm going to let this guy alone for now. I'm going to put the gridding right below these guys so it's easier to keep track of what's going on. There. So this does the start mileage in row 0. Well, if we look at our design, this needs to be in row 0, column 1. And then we do the same thing with our label. What happened to my label? Oh, my entry widget got moved. So I didn't put my gridding underneath it because these two guys go together. So I'm going to put both griddings next to them so it's easier to do. Keep track. So self dot LBL start mileage, whoops, LBL start mileage, and those are going to be on, that should be LBL start mileage, those are going to be on column 0 and 1. Well, it should work. You can kind of run it and see what it looks like at certain points. Oh, still has no attribute entry. So it is looking at line 27. Okay, so it's looking at line 36. I have a focus set that isn't working. Focus set means that we don't have to type in anything. When we start, we don't have to click. So it's going to be entry frame, no, entry, what's it going to be? Entry start mileage. There we go. So this is where our focus is going to be set so that when we start the program, we just have to start typing. I think I got it all fixed. There. Notice how it's right there. I can start typing. I can say hello, and nothing's going to happen at this point. Somehow my label is not there, is it? Well, let's take a look at what's going on with the label. So we are right here. We're doing the label start mileage in row 0, column 0. And there's our label right here. But one of the things we didn't do is assign some text to it, right? We need some text in there. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. We won't know which one is which. So it's in the wrong frame. There we go. Should be in the entry frame, shouldn't it? And we can't tell which one it is because we don't have any text in there. So let's add a text property. So text equals, and this is going to be static text. It's going to be start mileage and a comma. There. Let's see where that goes. Ah, much better. Much better. We do have a little issue here with things being on top of each other. Let's take a look at that. We have a little thing here that puts padding for all the widgets. It's not putting a padding on our calculate frame. So I'm going to copy this. On our entry frame. So I'm going to copy that. This does it to everything, and then you don't have to set individual padding. So display frame, we're going to have entry frame. Let's see if that makes it look nicer. Now we're talking. Although we didn't make our label wide enough, and we really don't need a grid, do we? All right, so let's change that. Down here it's good to have a grid, so you know where things are supposed to show up, but with this guy we don't need one. But again, now we're at personal preference stuff. So let's see, here is our start mileage label. We're going to get rid of the groove. We're going to get rid of the width. And we still are going to anchor the text to the right, and I'm going to put a colon in there to indicate that there's something shown to the right. So then I run it up. And now we're starting to look like something. Now I just have to repeat this process and keep going down. That does get through most of the design. The calculation, you would do the same thing with the calculation. You'd find where it calculates, and instead of calculating wherever it is, I might calculate here somewhere, yeah. Instead of converting temperature, you're going to convert start mileage, end mileage, and gallons used into miles driven and MPG. Just have to modify what's here, find the right labels, and you should be in good shape. Please let me know if you have any questions.